Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I'm going to start to see who the person is. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class, which is from Canto 2, Chapter 1, Text 18. And we're fortunate this morning to have Her Grace Gita Devi Dasi, Mother Gita, from ISKCON, Atlanta, to give the class. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai, and it's all yours. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jayam Vishnupad Paramahams Parivrajakacarya Stotra Shat Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद जद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय मायापुर धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय यमुना माई की जय तुलसी देवी की जय समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय निताय गौ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraid Nashtaprayeshu Apatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 2, Chapter 1, Text number 18. Nyached Vishayebhyo Akshan Manasa Buddhi Sarathihi Manaha Karma Bhi Akshiptam Shubharthe Dharaye Dhiya. Nyached, withdraw. Vishayebhyaha, from sense engagements. Akshan, the senses. Manasa, by dint of the mind. Buddhi, intelligence. Sarathihi, driver. Manaha, the mind, karmabihi, by the fruitive work, akshiptam, being absorbed in, shubha arthe, for the sake of the Lord, dharayet, hold up, dhiya, in full consciousness. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Excuse me. Gradually, as the mind becomes progressively spiritualized, withdraw it from sense activities, and by intelligence, the senses will be controlled. The mind, too absorbed in material activities, can be engaged in the service of the personality of Godhead and become fixed in full transcendental consciousness. Purport. The first process of spiritualizing the mind by mechanical chanting of the pranam, omkara, and by control of the breathing system is technically called the mystic or yogic process of pranayam, or fully controlling the breathing air. The ultimate state of this pranayam system is to be fixed in trance, technically called samadhi. But experience has proven that even the samadhi stage also fails to control the materially absorbed mind. For example, the great mystic Vishwamitra Muni, even in the stage of samadhi, became a victim of the senses and cohabited with Menaka. History has already recorded this. The mind, although ceasing to think of sensual activities at present, remembers past sensual activities from the subconscious status and thus disturbs one from cent% engagement in self-realization. Therefore, Shukadev Goswami recommends the next step of assured policy, namely to fix one's mind in the service of the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead also recommends this direct process in the Bhagavad Gita 6.47. Thus, the mind being spiritually cleansed, one should at once engage himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord by the different devotional activities of hearing, chanting, etc. If performed under proper guidance, that is the surest path of progress, even for the disturbed mind. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Translation once again. Gradually, as the mind progressively spiritualized, withdraw it from sense activities, and by intelligence, the senses will be controlled. The mind, too absorbed in material activities, can be engaged in the service of the personality of Godhead and become fixed in full transcendental consciousness. Looks like these verses by Shukadev Goswami are spoken for us because, at least me, it's very difficult to control the mind. We are trying and trying and trying for decades, and we are still trying. So this is a very, very important verse amongst all the verses that we have been reading so far. So from this verse, what I could understand is, especially from Srila Prabhupada's purport, that there is a process to control the mind or to spiritualize the mind. And in the beginning of the purport, Srila Prabhupada says mechanical chanting or the breathing system, pranayam, and this is mystic yoga system. It's a mystic yoga process. And what is the goal of mystic yogis or Ashtanga yogis? It's to get samadhi. But that samadhi stage does not guarantee control of the mind or spiritualizing the mind. There is no guarantee at all. How can breathing control the mind? Yes, maybe there will be benefits for the body, purifying the air in the body. But to control the mind, Very, very difficult. Just controlling the air within the body with the breathing system, the breathing process, it, yes, purifies the air inside the body and it'll bring one to the level of goodness. But that is not sufficient. So instead of concentrating on breathing exercises, if we can start thinking, how can I spiritualize my mind? This one word is so powerful. It's not just controlling the mind, but spiritualizing it. That is even way beyond controlling the mind. So we need to start thinking how to start spiritualizing the mind. And that is actually the beginning of the stage of spirituality. Or we can say, now we have started following the process of bhakti yoga. Because as per Bhagavad Gita, we even need to transcend the mode of goodness and come to the mode of pure goodness. And that's possible by the process of Krishna consciousness. Just meditation, breathing control, etc., is not going to spiritualize the mind. A very nice example is given by Srila Prabhupada on about Vishwamitra Muni. We've heard about him. Such a powerful sage, very, very powerful. And he is believed to have been meditating or performing austerities in complete meditation for thousands of years. But what happened when Indra, when he noticed that, oh, he's becoming more powerful, he sent that beautiful Apsara Menaka. And just by hearing the tinkling bells of Menaka's, Vishwamitra's austerity went out of the window. Of course, there was no window there because he was in the forest, but that's the way you call it. It went out of the window. So he completely got enamored by Menaka's beauty. What happened to the breathing exercises and meditation? In this Kali Yuga in which we are, the process of meditation is mantra meditation. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us. That's the way to become self-realized, to spiritualize the mind. So Shukadev Goswami, he is advising, or you can say giving guidance to Parikshit Maharaj to fix his mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Srila Prabhupada in the purport gives reference of a very nice verse of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6. Chapter 6, the very last verse, number 47. Yogi nam api sarvesham mad gati nantaratmam. He is advising Arjuna that to become the topmost yogi. Of course, Krishna gives all the details about meditation in that chapter. How one should meditate. One should go to a secluded place, which means in the forest, with no Wi-Fi, no phones, no laptops, nothing at all. Just go alone to the forest, lay kusha grass on the ground, then deer skin on top, sit properly, sit erect, with eyes half closed, half open, and point your gaze to the tip of your nose and then meditate. That's so difficult, especially in this age of Kali Yuga. And meditation, according to the scriptures, meditation can lead us to self-realization only if we meditate for at least 30,000 years. Do we have that lifespan? Even if we had an option, would we take that option to live for thousands of years? Not me, at least. So in Kali Yuga, the process for self-realization is mantra meditation. So Krishna says, become a topmost yogi, do bhakti yoga, devotional service. And that is what Shukadev Goswami is advising Parikshit Maharaj, that you perform your devotional service, and that process is going to cleanse the mind and spiritualize it completely. So the process given to us by Srila Prabhupada is chanting. Sorry, not chanting, attentive chanting, hearing, reading his books, serving, associating with devotees. But we do all this under guidance, not the way we like it to be or we want it to be. No, under guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. And Prabhupada says, then success is guaranteed, even if the mind is disturbed. So we all know our minds are disturbed most of the time. It's only when we sit down to chant and hear those sound vibrations that the mind is a little bit under control. But otherwise, it's running here, there, everywhere. Prabhupada calls the mind like a monkey, which keeps jumping from one place to another. That is our situation. So even if the mind is disturbed, if we perform devotional service under the guidance of a bona fide teacher, then we will be on the right path. And what's that path? That path is to control the mind or spiritualize it. So it's just a question of following the process, getting the training. Just like we, supposing I want to learn how to dance, I have to go to a bona fide teacher, enroll myself, learn from the teacher. You see, the teacher will train on the proper way of dancing. That's how it happens. It's under guidance. So same applies to the mind also. We follow the process of devotional service. We train the mind to spiritualize it under the guidance, not whimsically, not according to what we think. Then again, thinking comes from the mind. That means we are listening to the mind. And that way there will be no success. So what does it mean, not whimsically? That means following Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Otherwise, we will be a disturbance in the society, Prabhupada says. Need to follow the rules and regulations, just like there are rules and regulations for everything. Like if I'm working in a corporate office, there are certain rules I need to follow. Right? Certain etiquette that this is a time when I need to start work, this is a time when I can end, and this is how I behave in the office. There are certain etiquettes and rules and regulations. Just like when I am diseased, the doctor will give me certain rules, some do's and some don'ts. Do's are take the medication. Don'ts is, don't eat this, that, or whatever. So rules need to be followed. Why? Because that is to cure us of the disease. That is to discipline us. Similarly, we need to discipline the mind. We need to train the mind. Prabhupada says mind is like a child that needs to be disciplined, just like our children. We tell them what's right, what's wrong. We correct them when they are wrong to bring them on the right path. Excuse me. So same applies even to the mind. And actually, controlling the mind, or in other words, the beautiful word that Srila Prabhupada has used is spiritualizing the mind, is an art. It's not something very easy to follow or easy to do. And if we do not control the mind, then there's going to be no peace or happiness. In the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada explains in his purports, where Krishna is telling Arjuna says, I cannot control the mind. I can control the wind probably, but not the mind. And what does Krishna tell Arjuna? That if the mind is uncontrolled, there will be no peace or happiness. If a person thinks, let me do whatever my mind says, let my mind take me anywhere, that is foolish. How can we depend on the mind? We never know what the mind, where the mind is going to take us. Maybe to the wrong places, or maybe make us do wrong things. So it's very, very important to control the mind. Nice example is, if we have seen the picture on the Bhagavad Gita, right? Right on top, we have that picture where we see Krishna is a charioteer, Arjuna is sitting on the chariot, and it's, the reins of the chariot are in the hands of Krishna, and then these are the horses that are being controlled by the Lord. So let us just imagine our body is a chariot. The horses are like the senses. The rein is like the mind. Right? Intelligence is the driver. And we, the spirit soul, are the passengers sitting in the chariot. Just visualize. So if the reins are not in the hand, if the mind is not in the hand of intelligence, how are the horses or the senses going to be in control? And if the horses go haywire, then the soul, which is a passenger in the chariot, which is the body, is going to be bewildered. So it's very important for the intelligence to control the mind so that the mind can control the senses. And then the passenger, the soul, will be happy and peaceful in the chariot of the body. So the million-dollar question is how to control the mind. Is that something we want to learn? Definitely. There's a very nice Vaishnava song, Bhajahu Re Mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charan Arvindare. It's been recommended that we need to control the mind by worshipping Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. Then one can become fearless. And the whole Vaishnava song talks about how rare this human birth is. This human form is so rare. And it is so difficult to cross over this material ocean of miseries. But if one associates with saintly devotees, then it will become possible to cross over this ocean of miseries. We are feeling sleepless, we are suffering pain, uselessly serving the wicked mind, and the mind that is a miser, the mind that is, uh, looking for flickering happiness. What is flickering happiness? It's there, it's not there. Now it's there, now it's not there. Running after flickering happiness. There is no assurance of real happiness, whether it is having a lot of money, being young and beautiful, having a family, children. No. There's no assurance of real happiness in all these material aspects of life. And the song in the end says, life is like a drop of water on the lotus petal. You see, we have seen that, little drops of water on the petals of the lotus flower, the beautiful lotus flower. A little wind and the drop falls off. Life is like that, like a drop of water. It can just be finished at any time. So the song is saying, please serve and worship Krishna. Shravana Kirtana, Smarana Vandana. There are 9 processes of devotional service given to us by Prahlad Maharaj. Chanting, hearing glories of Krishna, constantly remembering him, offering oneself completely to Krishna. So these processes are given to us. And what will all these processes? Prabhupada says, even if we follow one process out of these 9, we can achieve perfection, the highest perfectional stage of life. We can achieve the goal of spiritualizing the mind, controlling it. So if we follow this process of devotional service, which is also called Bhakti Yoga, then we'll be able to control and spiritualize the mind. But proper training is necessary. Proper engagement is necessary. This process of devotional service is actually higher taste. Right now, most people are used to the lower taste because either they have not have had access to higher taste, or they've had the access but they're not interested in following this path of devotional service. But the higher taste will come only when we take this process seriously and sincerely. What does Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur say to control the mind? He says, beat the mind with the stick in the morning and with the broom at night 100 times. That means 200 times we beat the mind up. Now, that doesn't mean that we literally take a stick and hit on our head. Sorry, it's not the head, it's the chest, because according to Bhagavad Gita, mind is in the heart. You see, we keep beating the heart. No. Or we take a broom and start hitting. No. That literally means that we follow this process very firmly, very strictly. And if the mind is coming in the way of our Bhakti Yoga process, then we beat the mind, which means we train the mind, just like children. Why do we have to repeat again and again to the children? Don't do this, don't do that, eat your food, do your homework. Why do we keep repeating again and again? Why does the teacher in the classroom keep repeating again and again? 2 plus 2 equals 4, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Why? Because repetition is necessary. Our mind needs repetition. That is why Srila Prabhupada has given us this rules and regulations, and one of them is to chant 16 rounds every day. And it's not that, oh, I chanted yesterday, why should I chant today? No, it's every day, because this is how this repeating the Maha Mantra is going to train our mind and at the same time spiritualize it. You see, the mind is very wild. It will go anywhere, everywhere. I am very, very sure that since the time I started speaking on this verse, right up till now, your minds would have left the Zoom meeting and gone somewhere and hopefully come back. That's the nature of the mind, to skip, to jump, to run away. So if we do not control the mind, it's going to go everywhere like a monkey. And Krishna gives a solution in the Bhagavad Gita. Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Think of me. Krishna says, appreciate my pastimes. Talk about my pastimes. Discuss my pastimes. Remember my pastimes. Because these pastimes are the activities performed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when we, engage in remembering or appreciating the pastimes of the Lord, this is, you can say, a direct activity of the mind. Directly, the mind is engaging in Krishna's service. And when this happens, this direct engagement, then there's going to be attachment to Krishna. That is what we want. When the mind is spiritualized, it gets attached to Krishna, starts loving Krishna. Then we know that the mind is spiritualized, it is under control. And the easy way, the best way that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than Krishna himself, he has given us just by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Very simple process. Excuse me. But if we pay attention to those sound vibrations, then the mind will come under control faster. If we are doing a mechanical process of chanting, just chanting because I have to chant, I don't have a choice, because I've taken a vow to chant 16 rounds every day. So let me get it over with in the morning or whatever during the day. If that is our intention, then there will be no attraction to Krishna. There will be no spiritualizing of the mind. Then the mind also will think, oh, you're not interested in chanting? So I'm also not interested. I'm on vacation too. You see, Arjuna told Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, Chanchala hi mana Krishna, that mind is very fickle, it's obstinate, it's so difficult to control. And Krishna acknowledged it. He did not say, oh, Arjuna, you're making an excuse. You're just finding an excuse. No. He said, yes, it is difficult. And I agree with you. But if one starts practicing to control the mind, then it is possible. It is difficult, but it's not impossible. And what does Srila Prabhupada teach us? That wherever the mind goes, bring it back. Bring it back. This is how the mind will get trained that, oh, I'm running away, but they're pulling me back again. I'm running away, pulling me back again. Then the mind gets trained. Running is not a good idea. So practice is going to be difficult. It's not an easy process. It will be difficult. But when we keep trying, Krishna says, Ye yatham mam prapadyante tam stateva bhajamiham. As one surrenders unto me, I reward them accordingly. So when Krishna will see our sincere efforts to try to control the mind, he is going to help us. How many of us have experienced that when we are chanting, the mind runs away? Practically, many, many times. Just completing one round, many, many times the mind has run away. It wanders away. And before we know, one thought leads to another and another and another. And before we realize it, we started with one thought and it's totally different by the time it has reached the 10th or 20th thought or whichever it may be. This is how fast the mind travels. But we should not feel discouraged. Bring it back. Training the mind to focus on the sound vibrations when we are chanting. How would it feel that, someone is, we are talking to someone, it's a very intense conversation going on, something very, very important we are talking about, but the other person's mind has wandered away. And the other person is not even listening to what we are saying. How would that feel? Not good at all. So when we are chanting, we are actually trying to call Krishna. We are, wanting to get his attention. And when he, like this, Prabhupada says, there's no difference between Krishna and his holy name. So when we are calling Krishna, but we're not paying attention, then that is an offense. So we need to train the mind on how to focus on the sound vibrations. You see, do abhyas. Krishna tells Arjuna, do abhyas, means practice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes one perfect. Haven't we heard that? One day we will be able to conquer the mind by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. Then what is going to happen? What will be the result? Then the mind will stop chattering. Talking. Haven't we met, sometimes we meet people who just talk and talk and talk. And what goes on in our mind? Please stop talking. That's the chattering. And don't you think our mind also chatters all day long? Then that chattering will stop. And then when the mind is controlled and it is spiritualized, It'll ask the senses, don't go here and there. It's going to control the senses. But if you don't focus, then the mind is going to let the senses go anywhere. How does the mind work? It stores all the desires, all the thoughts, all the emotions, all the feelings. It's a storehouse of all that. And in this storehouse, which is called the mind, the desires develop. And the mind, it keeps reminding us of different things that's going on, all our emotions, our feelings, our desires. It keeps reminding us. And that's why we notice that the thoughts keep popping up throughout the day. Oh, I need to do this. I need to go here. I need to do that. And then when all these thoughts are popping up, then it becomes so difficult to focus. Then the concentration goes out of the window. Becomes very, very difficult. Srila Prabhupada says, mind is like a child running around everywhere. Those of us who have gone through, little children running all the time. The mother gets tired. The mother doesn't need to go to gym or doesn't need to do any, what is it called? What is it called to burn calories? I forget. I'm forgetting
You mean
the.
exercising something?
Yeah, exercising, but it's called something else also. Oh, mind again. It's run away. It's not focusing. So the mind is running like a child everywhere. But you need to control the mind. I remember one time at the airport, I noticed, um, yes, Sangeeta, it's workout also, but it's called something else also. I forget. Anyway, so I noticed at the airport, there was a very mischievous child, and the mother had put a leash on the child. Just like, the dogs are on leash. She had put the leash on the child and was holding, the child because the child was running everywhere. And I was thinking, oh, Krishna, a leash on the child like a dog. So the mind is running. Yes, it will run, but we need to control and discipline it. And for that, intelligence is very necessary. Intelligence. And how does intelligence work? Krishna tells Arjuna that we need to feed the intelligence with knowledge. Knowledge from the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. When the intelligence is fed with knowledge, then the intelligence will start working in the right direction. Then that intelligence will be able to control the mind, which is in turn going to control the senses. So knowledge is important. It's not that Srila Prabhupada just said, do this, do that, and all. No, he gave us so many books. He gave us so much knowledge so that we can understand and not follow Krishna consciousness on blind faith, but based on knowledge. And Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita tells Arjuna, an uncontrolled mind is one's worst enemy. Who likes enemies? Nobody. Nobody likes enemies. We all want friends and we want best friends. But according to the Bhagavad Gita, if we control the mind, then the mind becomes our best friend. Otherwise, it's going to be our worst enemy. Now, the million-dollar question is how to make the mind our best friend. Process is given to us by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada says, give the mind a higher taste. I always give this example. If the child is eating mud, the child is not going to stop eating mud. Stop it, stop it, stop it. It's not going to listen. But if a rasgulla is given to the child is immediately going to give up mud because now the child has got higher taste, something very sweet. So the mind needs higher taste, and that is attentive chanting. When we chant with attention, then the mind will become calm and peaceful. Why does Srila Prabhupada always, he's constantly talking about chanting in his books, in his lectures, in his morning walks. He's just talking about chanting. Why? Because that's the best way to control the mind, to spiritualize the mind. The Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is full of spiritual potency. Mantra. Mantatrayate iti mantra. Man means mind. Tra means to free the mind of all anxieties. So this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra has that potency to control our mind, to spiritualize it. That's why it's called mantra meditation. That's the meditation for this age of Kali Yuga. And what are the benefits of chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? There will be purification, there will be satisfaction, there will be liberation, there will be absorption, there will be devotion developed for Krishna, there will be love developed for Krishna. These are all the benefits of chanting the holy names. And best of all, the mind will become spiritualized. And then there will be peace and happiness. We have the Srila Prabhupada explains in the Bhagavad Gita a beautiful purport on the peace formula given to us by Krishna to Arjuna. Bhoktaram yagna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwara suridam sarvabhutanam tatmamam shantim richati. What is shantim? Peace. So when we take on this knowledge and we put it into practice, give this knowledge, feed the intelligence with this knowledge so that we become wise and then able to control the mind that can control the senses. In other words, using our mental ability to worship Krishna. That's the best use of our minds. And what is that going to lead to? Peace and happiness. So if we can follow the simple formula for controlling the mind, then we will be successful. What is that? A, B, C, D. A for association, B for books of Srila Prabhupada, C for chanting, and D is the diet, which is prasadam. In other words, we follow the four regulative principles very strictly. We chant our rounds very attentively, associate with devotees, serve, give this knowledge to others, and then we will see that the mind is gradually coming under control and getting spiritualized. So the verse once again, gradually as the mind becomes progressively spiritualized, withdraw it from sense activities, and by intelligence, the senses will be controlled. The mind, too absorbed in material activities, can be engaged in the service of the personality of Godhead and become fixed in full transcendental consciousness. So I'll end here. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji, for such a very nice lecture about the mind trying to control the mind. Very difficult. Arjuna admitted it in Bhagavad Gita so that we don't feel like out of place. Why is some not working? And remember there was one devotee, actually she's probably even online right now, but of course I won't mention the name. Initially when he came to Krishna consciousness, of course he found out about the regulative principles and how to live according to the regulative principles. They're all don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. And as my Guru Maharaj said some time back, quite a few years back. Some people think they're going to be pure devotees overnight. It doesn't work that way. So, as a new devotee, he came in and says, I'm 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 gonna give up, literally give up my life because I can't do the regulated principles because it felt like it should happen. But you see, in this country, we train so much, we want everything just like yesterday. Yeah, but the spiritual life, the process is quite wonderful, but it's also we have to work towards it and get there. And of course, we associate with people who are fixed up, then it helps the progress and also builds up our confidence, our hope that we'll get to that place because Krishna wants us to go back. So yeah, we will we try. He'll give us help. So thank you very much for this nice lecture. Everybody's, it is time to unmute yourselves if you want to add things, share realizations, share some takeaways. This is a very nice lecture. Please unmute yourself now and begin to share. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to you. Like you said, Mataji, this is very important words. Controlling the mind. When I start chanting, I said, okay, I'm chanting. I don't want to do anything else. I want to, concentrate on my chanting. But after a while, you said the mind goes away. But then I said, oh, then what am I doing here? Let's go back to chanting. So, it is very difficult. I don't know, Mataji, how to control really, how to keep it, on chanting itself.
We have to keep trying, keep practicing. Like Krishna tells Arjuna, practice, practice, practice. That will lead to perfection. And the main thing is at least we are conscious of the fact that it's going away and conscious of the fact that we are trying to bring it back. If we don't even do that, then we are doomed. So you're on the right path. Yes, as soon as we realize that it's gone away, bring it back. I remember in Mumbai, there used to be one sannyasi, Narmada Maharaj, and he was from Hyderabad, I think. So he was my Shiksha Guru in Mumbai when I was there in the 80s. And I had once asked him the same question, while chanting, the mind runs away. And he said that I am a sannyasi and the mind still runs away. said, and he said it took him 5 years of vigorous practice that he was able to bring the mind back while chanting. So it is difficult, but it's not impossible. So we just keep trying.
Well, at least that sannyasi, he got it back in 5 years, it says. But I've been trying, but it's very difficult, Mataji. It's not, under control.
See,
it
if a
keeps
pure
going
devotee,
away, but I bring it back.
Yes, so if a pure devotee like Arjuna is saying mind is running away, so it is difficult. But as I said, Prabhupada says it's not impossible. So we just keep trying and, pray to Lord Krishna to help us.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can I tell one story
Yes, please.
about this? This is not from the Shastra. This is actually a real life situation. And it was I was listening to a video of a lecture by His Holiness Radha Swami. Video, so I could see him and the devotees listening and so on. So he finished the lecture and the questions time. One devotee raised his hand. All right, so ask the question. He says, Maharaj, started with the obeisances and then said, I've been in Krishna consciousness for quite a while, but I don't feel that I'm progressing and getting purer and so on. So how long does it take for a devotee to come to the level of purity. Maharaj asked him a question. He didn't answer the question. He asked him a question. He says, how long have you been practicing? The devotee says, 15 years. Maharaj says, keep going. That was the answer. So, take it for that level. That was the answer that the Maharaj gave his disciple. Keep going. Mm-hmm. Hare Krishna. This thought I throw that in. Hare Krishna.
Yes, it makes so much sense. Keep going.
So,
like you get that battery, I don't know what it's called. Keep going. I forget the energizer.
Energizer. Sometime back. Yeah. Keep going. Boom, 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 boom. Chant.
Oh, I remember that word I was looking for. Cardio. I want to do.
Yes. Cardiovascular exercises. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Wonderful. If someone else has some.
Hare Krishna Gita ji, Dandavat Pranam.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Bhakti.
Hare Krishna. Nice lecture, Gita ji. Yeah, that is just like Krishna Charan Prabhu said, mind is, controlling the mind is not easy. So, but we are keep trying and trying. We are trying.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Bhakti.
Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So can I now if anybody else wants to chime in, Doc, that would be wonderful. Please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, one question if I can ask to Mataji.
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Very, very enlightening lecture. And yes, of course, this is so difficult to control the mind. And this question is regarding, like we hear a lot of people say that I'm taking this decision because it is my gut feel. So how do we understand the statement that it is my gut feel? So is it coming from their mind or is it coming from their intelligence?
It's coming from the mind, I think.
Mind.
Yeah. And if intelligence does not have the right knowledge, intelligence is not used based on knowledge, then it's the mind speaking. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else like to chime in, unmute, and share in this wonderful conversation we're having now? Krishna Katha.
Hare Krishna, Mother Gita. Please accept my humble obeisances. So blessed your Prabhupada, Mother. Mother, as you were speaking about association, when you were addressing that the ABCDs of Krishna consciousness and A being association. Last week, I believe it was last week, that I heard from Chandramali Swami's class, and it really made a very profound, impression on my mind, where Maharaj said that there is association, and then there is best association. And he was saying that, association can be taken as, hanging out, going to the movies. Sometimes we say that, I'm going for, to a baseball game with a devotee, and we claim that to be association. And, but Maharaj was saying is actually that is, it's nice that you're being with the devotee, but he says the best association is when we are hearing, asking questions, and listening attentively. And I thought that was very, very powerful that he said that, that is when we know that we are in the best association, is when we're hearing in that association and we're asking questions in that association, to learn to grow. And when we are listening attentively, Maharaj. I thought that was really powerful. I just wanted to share that, Mother. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's really very powerful. Thank you so much. I'm going to put that in my notes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. I'd also like to bring attention to the part of the purport for today that Srila Prabhupada wrote, and if I could just read it It says, the mind, although ceasing to think of sensual activities at present, remembers past sensual activities from the subconscious status, and thus disturbs one from 100% engagement in self-realization. When I saw that, I was very, very, very surprised. And also, a part of me wasn't surprised because actually it happened to me also. This is more the passion things. Before I became a devotee, I have to live some crazy lifestyle that now we put behind us. But when this sentence came out of the subconscious mind, because it stores a lot of things, would kind of trip back to, thoughts of things before one became a devotee, or before one actually took the regulated principles very seriously as far as obeying them. And that can even disturb, a person's mind in the devotion. So I don't know what comment you would like, want to have on that, but that's up to you, Hare Krishna. I just was pleasantly surprised to see that it does in fact happen, because it did happen to me. I had to go to my spiritual master for help, and he told me what to do, and that helped a lot too.
Can you please give us what was the advice you got?
Well, my spiritual master, for one thing, is Bhakti Swami. He knows that so well. In my case, he says, in your case, you should read. I wasn't reading as much. I was attending lectures, but I wasn't. He says, read. And so when I started reading, there were so many things in the Shastra that fascinated me. And that's what took my mind away from, from those thoughts. He asked me quite a few questions. He says, are you lusting after anyone in the Dharma? I said, absolutely not. He says, and he can read minds too, so you have to be honest. So then he has that ability. So I said, no, it isn't. That's not. Doesn't have anything to do with the Mataji's here. Then he said, what it is, and I said, it has to do with my past. Sometimes girlfriends and those things before I became a devotee. Sometimes those thoughts come. Then he said, you read. He actually smiled first. I remember when I told him, he smiled a bit and says, start reading seriously. And that changed everything. And from this day, I still read.
So he gave you higher taste, proper engagement. Yes. Yes, that is a solution. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, devotees, we are just at the hour now, 9 o'clock. Any last comments or questions or takeaways that you would want to add to this? If not, then Mataji, thank you very much for a very, very, very nice lecture. And the devotees, thank you for also coming. You came in your numbers, which is wonderful. We're going to hear and then also participate in the Krishna Katha after the lecture. So have a nice, wonderful Krishna conscious week coming up. Remember Krishna, as it says, Rupa Goswami. Remember Krishna. Panchakapatrubhascha kripa sindhve evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Go Srila Prabhupada.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Go Srila Prabhupada.